George of the jungle, strong as he can be.
You know, we're seeing a lot of these COVID forbearance programs that are going away. There's a lot of assistance and checks and stuff that are not going to get cut anymore. And it's going to put the squeeze on a lot of people who might want to buy a home, but before they can do that, they might be looking at bankruptcy. So welcome to thecreditjungle.com today. This is George Anderson. And I just want to make a disclaimer here. I'm not an attorney. My 16 words of Latin don't qualify me for that. And yet I have been involved in 2 transactions like I'm going to show you right now. And I'm going to explain how somebody who might be looking at a serious situation like this can actually preserve some of their wealth and own a home and do that while they're in a bankruptcy and prior to filing a bankruptcy. Okay, so this is state of Utah. Not speaking for how this would work in other states, but just to let you understand that these situations happen. If you get a spouse that gets divorced and there's a lot of debt in there, and let's just say that you had a spouse that, you know, she's going to walk away and maybe have to go and get a minimal wage full-time job, have a little bit of alimony, and that's it. But as the marriage estate, there was a lot of debt, okay? And the spouse over here is responsible for all of that debt because he or she incurred all of that debt, okay? Well, what happens if this spouse over here decides to go and file bankruptcy on it and these debts were commingled together and they were owned? There's no protection here, okay? The creditors are going to say, we don't care that you guys aren't friends anymore. You both signed on the loan. This person's already gone through bankruptcy. Now the creditors come here. You see that situation happen. You talk to a bankruptcy attorney and find out how often they will see that you've got somebody who really had nothing to do with getting into the debt other than being married to the person that got the debt, and all of a sudden is now dealing with the consequences of that. And there could have been some assets that were distributed through the divorce where this person here has some cash, some money to be able to put down on a down payment. And where do you put that money so that you can protect it from the bankruptcy court? Here's a solution. You got a $500,000 home, and let's just say that we've got $50,000, which is 10% down. Now, this money would be treated here as option money, and what you would do is you'd give the person, just in this example, we're going to give them a 5-year option that any time in the next 5 years, they can purchase the home for $550,000. Okay, well, is that really worth something right now based on the current market being $500,000? Well, we don't know, okay? This $50,000 here of option money, in the 2 cases I've been involved with, this is not part of the declarations of assets on any of the schedules on here. So, because as of right now, it's really not an asset. It's something that could be, but at the time of the filing, it's not. So this does not have to be declared as an asset, and this is the one time where on an option agreement, probably better to not have a notice of interest recorded on the property there. In the state of Utah, the option does not need to be recorded in order for the buyer to enforce it, okay? So you might sit and think, well, why would somebody want to pay that kind of money to overpay for the house? Well, look and see what homes were going for 5 years ago and find out what a $500,000 home would be worth right now. Well, it's probably worth at least $700,000. That $50,000 option, well, that's now worth about $150,000 because they can buy that $700,000 home for $550,000. But anyway, so this is just something to consider on here. If we do start getting into some hard times, and I work with a handful of bankruptcy attorneys that, you know, I tell you, the ones that do it and that is their focus, there are a lot of great things that can come out of it that can help a person kind of get back on their feet with their credit. And probably one of the best things that helps people do that is knowing that they've got a place to live, that they've got a roof over their head and they don't have to worry about the rents going up, not being able to find a place to live, and to be able to park this money and know that it has the potential to grow and turn into an asset and not have to surrender it to the bankruptcy court. I think it's a win-win. But anyway, thanks for coming into thecreditjungle.com today. This is George Anderson. Remember, you can push button, get mortgage professional, and all the advice that you've got here and all these ideas are at your disposal. I hope you take advantage of it. Have a great day.